You're listening to Cosplay Bites, the podcast that takes a closer look at the world of cosplay, conventions, and all the nerdy bits and bytes. Brought to you by the Lightning Palace and proudly sponsored by Anchor. Join me as I discuss a variety of topics and conventions alongside the joy of bringing your favorite characters to life. All right. So, this is going to be another interesting episode that I'm going to be doing solo. Hope you guys are doing well. I know that the cosplay community convention world is kind of taking a standstill due to what's going on in the world right now, and just hope that you guys are staying safe and healthy. So, a while back, the fine, awesome host of the cosplay podcast, Cospod, they had announced that they were going to start a one-day digital convention event of sorts. And they were poking around to see if anyone was interested in creating some panels or some kind of presentation to go on during the day. And I volunteered with a topic of my own, but unfortunately, due to circumstances on their end, they weren't able to have the full convention, so they had to cancel it. In which case, I still wanted to run with this little idea and make an episode around it for you guys to take a listen to. But before we get into that, the usual top of the house stuff. We got over on my blog. I pretty much went the route of restricting the amount of posts going up. So now it's only maybe a couple posts a week. Oh man, sheesh, why am I getting tired all of a sudden? But yeah, a couple posts a week. At the very least, there'll be one cosplay post. Or otherwise, there will be other certain posts going up, depending on what day it is. This is just for personal reasons for the time being, because there's a lot of stuff going on in my own little personal life right now. But that being said, I've been working on trying to get some Katsucon cosplay written up about. So you can, at the moment, check out my recap post on all the episodes I did this past month in March, as well as my impressions on the Bravely Default 2 demo that dropped last week. And in addition, there are Struck First posts on Falafel Cosplay's Calamity Ganon. She debuted at Katsucon, and then I have another one coming up this coming Friday on Azura Cosplay with her Safi Jiva. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but it's a Monster Hunter creature. And hope you guys are looking forward to that. And a special shout out to my fellow patrons over on Patreon. I have Coralia Jade, Kat Yuska Moonfox, Kendall, Mink the Satyr, Nicole Marie Jean, Noah, Oh My Sophie, and Shaylin. So, the main topic that I wanted to talk about today was content creation, mainly in the digital age space and how it typically relates to cosplay. Because I think in today's day and age, content creation is a buzzword that a lot of companies are getting into now, with reaching out to content creators, whether they're streamers or they're YouTubers or they're social media influencers. And it's certainly a big aspect in cosplay now, and how several cosplayers either have been able to expand their hobby into a full-time gig, or just to help them make some extra money on the side as a side hustle, or just to create something that they love. So content creation in its core, it's basically worded out in the name. They create content. It's all about what you want to make. So it pretty much varies on what you're interested in and like what you want to focus on. So let's say if you're in the streaming realm and you want to stream yourself playing video games to a live audience, be either on like Twitch or you got Mixer for. Oh my gosh, I think the coffee wearing off. Sorry. Um, yeah, Twitch, Mixer, YouTube gaming. If you want to do vlogs and become a YouTuber and like just creating your own little content, like creating a set schedule. It's all about first off just finding what you'd be interested in and the specialties that you want to focus on. So like you've got some YouTubers that focus on either like variety types of content, like top of the head, I'm thinking of people like Jack's Films and Jacksepticeye and all the I'm listing off like all the big name YouTubers now, like Markiplier and all them. Or you can like dive into the gaming realm with people, you got the Game Grumps and then other YouTubers that specialize, some of which even have spun out another channel focusing primarily on gaming. So you've got content creators and influencers like Holly Wolf, where most of her videos, they're either, I can recall, maybe she did like vlogs of certain modeling trips that she'd been on, or um, bikini cute try on haul videos that she'll post. But then she also has a gaming channel that I believe she just recently launched it, where she'll post like reaction videos to trailers, and maybe sometime down the line she'll want to start doing let's plays of like some of her favorite games, because I know she's like big into Zelda, big into Final Fantasy and all that. So there's that end, specifically focusing on the YouTube side, but then some YouTubers like Holly will dive into Twitch streaming, and that is a whole other can of worms where you can either do the typical gaming streaming of a variety of games, or you can focus on a select set of games. Like I know there is a good sizable community of streamers that focus on the Hearthstone card game by Blizzard. There's also karaoke streams that go on. I know cosplayers like Introventus. She is heavily involved with the body painting community. So there are also streamers that mainly just body paint for a set amount of hours on various days throughout the week. Then there's also just like crafting streams and chill streams where they just hang out with the chat and all sorts of other stuff. So, particularly in the cosplay realm, content creation mainly it can involve Twitch streams if that's what they want to do. Mainly with the crafting side, they will stream the process of them creating certain aspects of their outfit. But I feel that it's almost mainly derived on services like Patreon, where they will sell various types of content, usually involving just like photo sets, and then helping them make really elaborate cosplays in the end, or sites like OnlyFans, where it's a bit more risque in nature, but it's another outlet for cosplayers to help um, give them something to create. There's also some cosplayers and creators, they will go into like the realm of making panels for presentations over at conventions. Again, it's just all about what you like, finding your specialty. Um, I would say for the most part, in terms of platforms to advertise your content on, it just depends on what you'd want to focus on. But I feel for me, in the grand scheme of things, when looking at everything from streaming to cosplay and all that stuff, I feel like Twitter and Instagram are the big ones in getting the message out, because Facebook nowadays has just devolved into almost like a pay-to-win service where your reach is constantly cut down, and you just have to fight the algorithm, which is just always changing and always being very unfavorable. Um, but then you also can stream almost every day if you want to, if that's the kind of schedule you like to be on. Networking with others, building your own little subset community. I know streamers like Introventus and like former cosplayer Marie Gray. They're part of a little like subset group of streamers on Twitch that they'll help each other out. They'll promote their streams, or like they'll raid their chats, that kind of stuff. And then again, that's like within networking with each other. Reaching out to conventions, that's another thing, with you presenting your panel ideas to present during the cons on specific days, whatever works with their schedule. Even for people like me, my content creation heavily lies in this show. It also lies in the blog. So I'm geared towards like the cosplay convention enthusiast. I go around, trying to find new cosplays to feature, sometimes hopefully reaching out to individuals if they'd want to be on my show. In fact, my networking with Amber and Valerie of Cospod is basically what gave this topic idea its birth, and like something that I want to do something more in the capacity of maybe doing a panel in the digital convention space, because I know a lot of cons now, due to the state of the world, have been either canceling, postponing their events, or trying to switch gears and hosting like little one-day events or stuff like that. I know actually this weekend over on Twitch right now, um, a bunch of content creators and crafters got together and created essentially what they're calling Craftchella, which is just a collection of people either just streaming, either them making outfits or them having panel ideas. Because I know that cosplayer Lisa Luhu, she has been doing several panels. She did one yesterday or Friday, I believe, on the aspect of social media marketing. And then today, right now, or it probably already happened, where she did a panel talking about cosplaying with adversity, in the sense of, like, in her case, her with her blindness, and how she's been able to content create stuff and just been able to keep cosplaying since then. Um, yeah, it's pretty much all about what you want to do. For me, cosplay is a very niche subject, so I'm lucky enough that the subject isn't completely grand, because if you want to do a grand subject, say you wanted to do content creation in the sense of like baking, and like streaming yourself like baking cookies or desserts or stuff like that, there are a lot of food type content creators, either mainly on YouTube or some on Twitch, and you're pretty much fighting a giant pool of people and trying to get your views or your numbers up or whatever, what have you. Um, it can certainly be a lot, but if you like narrow down on certain aspects of baking, so like maybe a certain type of pastry that you focus on or a certain way that you bake, then it's a possibility that you can have your own little audience, so to speak. I know for myself, um, I've been getting heavily more into the podcasting scene, and again, like I've reached out to Cospod and appeared on their episode, and they've appeared on mine. And I've also been reaching out to other cosplayers that have started their own podcast show in the hopes of maybe collaborating with them and being on their show, and vice versa. So I'm hoping that that can lead to something in the near future. And maybe if this goes well, maybe sometime down the line, I could reach out to conventions and promote or give out a panel idea. I think in that sense, though, I'd want to have someone to help co-moderate or like co-host with me, because this may be a little bit easier to do solo, but presenting to a wide audience of whatever number that shows up, that's a whole different ball game. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just trying to figure out the kind of stuff that you want to make, stuff that you're passionate about. Um, it can be a very difficult thing in wanting to have content creation be a full time job. Um, I know that's certainly a dream of mine, but it doesn't really happen overnight. Some cosplayers, like I mentioned before, they're able to make it their full time job, but and sometimes it did happen overnight due to certain circumstances. But in some cases, it won't, and you just have to keep on working with the content that you like to create and keep fighting through the urge to like slack off or just not create anything at all. Because I've certainly had those days where I'll come across just really not being in the mood to write a blog post or not in the mood to record an episode. That actually happened a little bit earlier today, where I was like dead set on recording this episode today, and then part of me was just like, I don't want to. Um, like I'd much rather be playing video games right now because there's just a lot going on in the gaming space and just stuff coming out that I'm really excited for. But it's been a while since like my PAX East coverage, and I wanted to get something out to you guys. So hence why I wanted to make this little episode. Hold on a second. Sheesh. Talking too much. Can't forget how to breathe now. What else do I have here? Yeah. Like I've been even seeing like businesses advertise like wanting content creators like as a legitimate position. So it's certainly something that's driving. It's like a driving trend today, and I don't feel like it's going away anytime soon because like advertisers can make huge amounts of money in like teaming up with YouTubers or influencers to help promote their product. That's a thing going on. I mean, it will probably continue to go on. Even cosplayers get in on it with promoting certain either um, services um, in the vein of like what Loot Crate was. Like you got stuff like that. Sometimes they'll partner up with conventions to give out a promotional code for buying passes to their event. Um, a lot of streetwear and like clothing brands will send stuff to cosplayers and content creators, and then they just make a post to help promote their product in the hopes that sales will increase for a short period of time. So, yeah, just find what you love to do. If you think you can make some kind of either like some money off of it or just wanting to just make something to share with the world that makes you feel happy. That's another thing also. If you find something like within the content creation realm that you are able to make some money off of it, that's a pretty fantastic idea, but don't be consumed by it. Like just be aware that keep the reasons as to why you're creating content mainly down to the fact that like this makes you happy and that you love doing what you do. And yeah, it'll be a win-win for everyone. You are creating content that you enjoy, and on the other end, hopefully the people that you share it with will enjoy it too, and then you can like foster and create a community out of it, or even find a community to connect with and collaborate with other users. That's another thing. Like collaborating is a huge thing. I know in the same, it's basically alongside networking. So like I networked with Amber and Valerie because when I was researching cosplay podcasts before this show existed, theirs was the only one that I found. There were others. There were other cosplay centered podcasts, but theirs was the one I only found where it was still continuously being uploaded, like new episodes, and they've been at it for a much longer time frame than I have. So, I mean, I wanted to give my own little different spin on it. And then, I reached out to them, explained my show, like how long I'd been doing it at the time, reached out and wanted to be a part of their show. And then they were on my show for a future episode. And I'm hoping this year, maybe I can hopefully work with them again, because there's just a lot of topics that the three of us could discuss together. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, that I have to say. Just again, like, I'll keep hammering on the point. Do what you love, find your little niche, find your passions, and just make something and like share it with a lot of people. Like, don't let it fester, or keep it hidden if you think that it's something that people would want to enjoy. So I think that wraps it up for that episode. Again, these solo episodes are kind of short. Hope you guys don't mind that. This is really something that I still love doing, and I'm already looking forward to the upcoming episode that I have planned with you guys, because there's a few, and I'm working with a couple of individuals and trying to just narrow down a date for them to record. So, yeah, that's the. I'm gonna wrap this episode up right here. Thank you guys so much for listening, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a review and feedback. You can also support the show through Anchor's listener support or on my Patreon, patreon.com/lightningpalace. For more cosplay news and coverage, visit the Lightning Palace on Blogspot and follow Lightning Palace on Twitter and Instagram. See you all next time.